Here is what we currently know about a possible 6th season of Star Trek Lower Decks, which has concluded on Paramount+. Star Trek Lower Decks concluded its run on Paramount+ after 5 seasons, just a Star Trek Discovery. Despite presenting ambitious storytelling and all the emotions of the 24th century era of Star Trek, The Next Generation, creator Mike McMahan's animated comedy demonstrated that Star Trek could be humorous. However, what prospects does the gallant crew of the USS Cerritos have? The USS Cerritos was assigned to seal space potholes that lead to other Star Trek timelines in Season 5 of Star Trek Lower Decks. Before the USS Cerritos valiantly rescued the whole multiverse, the final 2 episodes of Star Trek Lower Decks, Fisher Quest and the New Next Generation, delivered an exciting and expansive tale that featured the largest crossover in Star Trek history. This chapter of the Lower Deckers' Starfleet careers comes to a close with a paradigm shift, promotions, and new assignments in Star Trek Lower Decks Season 5. What comes next, then? Star Trek Lower Decks Season 6 isn't happening on Paramount+. The USS Cerritos is no longer on Paramount+. There is no longer a Season 6 of Star Trek Lower Decks in development, and the show's stint on Paramount+ is over. Star Trek Lower Decks offices have closed following the completion of the Season 5 finale. The whole run of Star Trek Lower Decks consists of 5 seasons and 50 episodes. As a result, the series finale of Star Trek Lower Decks concluded this chapter of the USS Cerritos while leaving open the possibility of future expeditions. Fortunately, there are no indications that the 50 episodes of the animated comedy Star Trek Lower Decks will be removed from Paramount+, unlike Star Trek Prodigy, which was terminated by the streamer in 2023. This is the case even though the show has completed producing new episodes. It is hoped that Star Trek Lower Decks will continue to coexist with the other Star Trek films and television shows on Paramount+. But binge-watching those 50 episodes over and over again might be the secret to a fresh future for Star Trek Lower Decks. Will Netflix or another streaming service carry Star Trek Lower Decks Season 6? Considering how Netflix saved Star Trek Prodigy, it makes sense to hope that another streaming service will pick up Star Trek Lower Decks. In order to create more episodes, it would be logical for Netflix in particular to acquire Star Trek Lower Decks. Netflix would be able to control the market for contemporary Star Trek animated programs as a result. However, there is no indication that Star Trek Lower Decks will be streaming on Netflix, much as the streaming service has not renewed Star Trek Prodigy for Season 3. Every known Star Trek film and television show has several platforms and statuses. The Paramount Plus streaming service has cancelled Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek Picard, and Star Trek Lower Decks. Star Trek Prodigy will be accessible on Netflix and is presently TBD. The 3rd season of Star Trek Strange New Worlds is now complete, and production of the 4th season, which will be available on Paramount Plus in 2025, is scheduled to start. On January 24, 2025, the film Star Trek Section 31 will debut on Paramount+. The 1st and 2nd seasons of Star Trek Starfleet Academy are presently in production and will be available for streaming on Paramount+. Both Star Trek 4 and an untitled Star Trek Origin film are scheduled for theatrical distribution. Additionally, Paramount+ will stream a Tawny Newsome entitled Star Trek live-action comedy at a time to be determined. When it was revealed that Star Trek Lower Decks Season 5 would be the last season on Paramount+, a hashtag Save Lower Decks campaign was launched. However, the fan movement never gained the traction that Prodigy's did. While both animated series have produced some of the best Star Trek episodes of the modern era and allowed for the return of many legacy characters from Star Trek Voyager, Star Trek Enterprise, and Star Trek Deep Space Nine, the finale of Star Trek Lower Decks is doubly disappointing. Will Star Trek Lower Decks characters appear again? How the crew of the USS Cerritos can return. Some of the adored crew of the USS Cerritos may make a comeback in next Star Trek productions, including live action, even if Star Trek Lower Decks does not return as a series. Tawny Newsome of Star Trek Lower Decks is working on the first live-action Star Trek comedy that takes place in the early 25th century. Tawny's program appears to be a perfect fit for her to introduce her Lower Decks co-stars and their personas if it is approved. The Doctor and other live-action Star Trek classics may return in Star Trek Starfleet Academy, which is currently filming 2 consecutive seasons in Toronto. Although Starfleet Academy takes place 32 years after the events of Star Trek Discovery, any character from the franchise might be brought back to life through holograms, flashbacks, or other sci-fi techniques. In addition, Mike McMahan has expressed his desire for a live-action Star Trek Lower Decks, which might eventually be the next stage for the USS Cerritos. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more.